This Sunday is the first Sunday after Easter. The Gospel's taken from John, and it was the evening of the first day of the week, and the disciples were in a room with the doors locked for fear of the authorities. And Jesus came and stood among them. "Peace be with you," he said. And then he showed them his hands and his side. And the disciples were filled with joy when they saw that it was the Lord. He said to them again, "Peace be with you." And then he breathed on them and said, "Receive the Holy Spirit. Those whose sins you forgive, they are forgiven. And those whose sins you retain, they are retained." Now, one of the disciples, Thomas, who's called the twin, was not with them when Jesus showed himself. When the disciples said to him that "We have seen the Lord," Thomas said, "Unless I see the mark of the nails on his hands, and put my finger in the mark and my hand in his side, I will not believe." And then 6 days later, the disciples were again in the room, the doors were locked, and Jesus came. And this time Thomas was with them. Jesus came and he said to them, "Peace be with you." And he said to Thomas, "Thomas, see the mark of the nails in my hands and the mark on my side. Put your finger in the mark and reach out your hand and put it in my side. Doubt no longer, but believe." Thomas said, "My Lord and my God." And Jesus said, "You believe because of what you've seen. Blessed are those who have not seen and yet who believe." Jesus did many other signs that are not recorded in this book, but these have been written down so that you may believe that Jesus is the Messiah, and believing have life in his name. Well, this Easter is very much about the change from fear. They were locked. They'd locked the door and they were living in fear. And a change from this fear and doubt, the doubt of Thomas, to great joy and belief. That movement then is really what Easter is, the experience of Easter. And it's also the experience of community, the joy and the belief in him who gathers us together and gives us a purpose, the intimacy of this meeting with them. He breathed, he stood with them, among them. He breathed on them and sent and gave them this gift of the Holy Spirit to forgive one another, this power to forgive that we have in our midst, that we've been given. This, more than anything else, Easter is this power of bringing us together, reconciling us to one another and to God in him who is in our midst, that we celebrate. There's a sense of God's initiative, what God does, because we're left bereft and in a sense, it's powerless, helpless. And how often do we feel that? Powerless to forgive, powerless to believe, powerless to overcome our fears. But then there is this experience, unexpected, from another world, you could say, that there is this other who comes and gives us great joy, hope.